You're
That's the
welcome.
motto I like to live by.
Oh, wow. You're lame.
I'm vanilla. Some days I can be vanilla bean, okay?
Yeah, you're very vanilla and missionary. Good job.
Wow,
Excellent.
thank you. Go on. You fudging sugarhead. Welcome to Chicken Adobo for the Soul, where two siblings talk about life like they know what they're doing. I'm Rachel.
Wait, do I say John or am I Terence? I can't remember.
I mean, we're all family now.
No, we're not. I'm Terence. Yes, hello, I am Terence. Oh my God, no.
I'm pretty sure you've said John in the last few episodes.
I probably have, but we have to maintain some level of decorum, some professionalism here.
Wow, those of you who felt like that you could call him John, you can no longer do that.
John is for family and significant others.
I mean,
you know,
these people felt welcomed.
There are literally 2 listeners, actually 3. One of my coworkers listens closely now.
You revoked their John card.
Oh. Well, one of my coworkers calls me Big T, so I think that's kind of cool.
Okay, you're definitely not worthy of that.
That's very charming, very sweet, actually. Hi, Courtney, if you're listening to this.
How you been, Big T?
Oh,
no.
Wow.
Oh,
yeah. No, that
no.
just sounds weird, right?
Mm-mm.
Oh, man. No, not from you. Not you. No. Don't ever say that again.
Okay. How you been, Uncle?
Okay, that's also weird. Let's never say that again.
I know.
For a recap, go back to season 1, episode 1. No, a little bit of housekeeping, right? We have been away for a very, very long time. There's been a lot of stuff going on in life in general. On my end, at least, I can say that, this semester, academically speaking, or at least as far as lesson plans and academic-related workload goes, it's been a lot lighter, as in I don't have to do lesson plans like the night before or even, minutes prior to giving the lecture because it's already made from the previous semester. I'm just, updating / rehashing the same content from the last year. I'm sorry, not the last year, from the fall. Right. And there are fewer podcasts that I had to produce for the department. So that was kind of nice. What ended up eating the rest of my time this semester was a lot of the engagement with the students, like mentorship, coaching, talking about leadership and so on, and like lectures about the fleet and that kind of stuff, things that relate to the community that I'm in the Navy, the surface community. And so not surface as in like, beauty's only skin deep, but surfaces and ships on the water.
You're a dork.
I'm just saying, the dad jokes are strong.
No, but that's good because you said that even in the beginning, you said like your first semester was going to be very heavy because you're basically starting fresh, and now you're doing what you said you wanted to do, which was get more involved. Yeah,
with the students.
Right? With the students, with the school, things like that.
And that's kind of nice, and I'm really happy that that's played out in this way. But it came at a good amount of cost, I guess. I mean, let's not say cost, but because I do live in the city, and it takes about an hour, no more than an hour, to get from my front door to my office. And if my first class on Fridays are at 7 a.m., I'm waking up at 5 to get ready and then, making it to campus by no later than 6:30 maybe, just so I can get ready and roll right into class first thing and then go through the rest of the day's worth of lectures. It's, that was kind of not ideal, but it is what it is. I chose to live in DC, right? That's my own fault. Or not fault. It's a good time. It's been awesome. But yeah, it's consequences of my choice, right?
I've come up to visit John a few times in the city when the weather was really nice. We did the Japanese Cherry Blossom Festival.
You did?
Oh, that's right. Well, we still walked by it, and
okay,
I was still with you that day.
Yeah, that's true.
Checked out Planet Word Museum. And, that was down here, but we finally got to see a play together.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, you're good. You're doing exactly what you said you wanted to do.
Yeah, for the most part, except find a wife, but whatever.
Okay. I did hear traffic is supposed to be absolutely terrible in the summer.
I wouldn't know. I haven't had a summer going to,
I know,
from DC to Annapolis yet. So I've had the fall, I've had the spring.
You get the summer off, don't you?
No, I get part of it off, but okay. I get a third, quote unquote, a third of the summer off, and then the other 2 are back on campus. I'll be working again.
Okay.
I have to teach a class at the tail end of the summer. So the last 4 weeks of the summer, I'm doing summer school and 3 hours straight in the classroom.
A 3-hour class? What is it, 2 days a week?
No, it's 5 days a week.
What?
Yeah, I mean, so I think it's up to 3 hours, so we'll see. We'll play around with the times. I'm going to try to compress my syllabus a little bit.
How long is the class? It's the last 4 weeks?
Yeah.
It's only 4 week class? Wow. Why do I feel like that's a lot?
Because we're old.
I did take a 3 hour. Also, that's also true.
Yeah.
Because I think I took 1 3 hour class, but I think it was done either once or twice a week. It makes sense for it to be twice a week.
Oh my God, that's nice. Yeah.
But
that's like it's like a master's class, like for working adults.
It was.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. That way.
But I don't think it was compressed to 4 weeks, so it must have been
longer.
Yeah, maybe that's why.
It is what it is then. Yeah, that makes sense.
Goodness me, 3 hours. Good luck.
Yeah, thanks.
What time is the class?
Yes. I'll find out I'll cross that bridge when I get there.
Well, you know what? Marcus and I were watching GMM, and Rhett was like, they were playing international dartboard, and he's like, I just start saying what in the middle of an argument, and now Marcus will start doing that.
What?
So I'll be like, well, you don't understand. This is what what?
Oh.
What? And it just makes me laugh. And I'm like, God, I'm trying to be fudging mad at you.
Yeah. Oh, good. You dodged the filter, the F word filter.
Yeah, you can say fudging. You have to get used to it, because our nephew is starting to pick up words.
Yeah, I like bleeping myself out though. It's kind of funny.
So you have to get used to saying fudging and sugar.
What's sugar supposed to replace?
What do you think?
Shit?
Yes.
That's literally the opposite of it.
Exactly.
Oh my God, no, that's stupid.
Hey man, he's going to pick it up and he's going to say exactly what we say. And then you know who's going to yell at us? His mom.
Oh no. Oh God. Okay, actually, yeah, that's pretty awful. I don't want to attempt that.
So sugar and fudge.
Well, maybe I just don't talk to the kids. That's also an option. That makes life a whole lot easier.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, anyway, enough about me. How have you been? I understand you've had quite the past few months.
Yeah. No, it's been great. A lot of to what John is referring to is we've had some drama within the family, which I'm gonna I really, really want to try and work on that. And I think there's some inspiration there for an episode to focus on being Asian American and within the household. And
I think there's a lot to be said about generational trauma in this case. Yeah.
So there's that. So not much on that part that I can go into. But personally, Marcus and I are doing really well. We did get a new puppy.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. He's a Pomeranian Husky.
Pomsky.
A Pomsky. We got him. We hopped into the car, drove to Pennsylvania, and picked him up.
Wait, he's from Pennsylvania? That far?
Yeah.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, I had a lot of applications in for around this area to adopt, and it's just nothing was coming in.
Yeah.
So then I said, okay, well, let's see if we can reach out. We actually tried to find the information to the breeder of Mia, who's currently our husky, my old lady husky at 13 years old. But we couldn't find the information. So, then we started expanding our search, and just dogs are a lot cheaper up north past Maryland. I mean, a husky from here to Maryland is probably like $1,500 to $1,800. And Lou was $400.
Wow. That's a huge difference.
Yeah. $400.
I didn't realize that.
Fast food on the road and gas. We'll go get him. And he is the sweetest dog.
Yeah, I love him. I really love him.
Yeah. And he's
more
smart.
Than Mia, sorry.
Wow.
Yeah.
I did have my dog mom scare because Mia is, she's getting up there in age, obviously, but she had a skin issue. And she may have actually like a bacterial infection. So we're actually scheduled to take her into the vet just to have her examined, test everything out, make sure she's good. She doesn't seem to be acting out of the normal other than probably less energy. But I mean, she's still like, when I pick up the leash, she like hops right over just like she normally does. So I'm not worried yet. I haven't had, but I know it's coming. She's old. So.
She's just gonna go take a trip, right?
She's going on a trip.
She's gonna go get some milk and then.
That's the metaphor you use when your dad leaves you. My dad went to get milk. And I haven't seen him 14 years later.
I'm not very good with this. I'm not good with these kind of serious talks. All right,
oh, you're so funny. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Oh my god, you should try imagining me talking to one of these midshipmen, right? To these students.
Oh my god, those poor people.
I know, it feels weird sometimes because, like, I'm an absolute degenerate of a human being, and then I have to.
Do you have students that come to you as an open door policy, heart-to-heart conversation?
I've had two this semester, and there's a way to actually, like, loop all that bad stuff into an actual good life lesson.
Oh, sure.
And
absolutely.
Yeah, but until that point, like, generally the people who do come to me know that, I like to joke around, and jovial, I suppose, is a term for it, right?
Yeah.
And I'm pretty lighthearted about all my escapades and all the BS I've done in the past. The bull sugar.
Ooh, good one.
No, it's stupid. That sounds so dumb. I thought
it was... to saying it.
No, because then Emmett's going to say
You're going to be so fudging great at this?
No, please no. That's so dumb.
Fudge.
I'm going to edit that out.
I can just picture it now. Like, we're in the car, we're about to meet up with them, and you got to drop all the F-bombs before.
Oh, God. Yeah.
I can't wait for your struggle.
Oh, no.
But
anyway,
that's
sorry,
cool.
no.
That they come to talk to you.
Yeah. And I'd like to think that there's this Hollywood moment that happens, right?
Okay.
Where the kids come to Jesus and are like, "Oh wow, I've seen the light. I am going to change my life entirely."
Have you seen the kids these days?
I'm like, yeah, for like 3 hours every other day. Yes.
Have they seen the light?
I don't know. I'm not in a place to answer that. I see them for like an hour a day. And then they go on their merry way to live whatever life they want to live. That's on them.
Yeah.
Liberalism, right, guys? No, like that's literally like the very day one lecture, like the Enlightenment idea of liberalism from like Locke and John Stewart. Anyway,
yeah.
I'd like to think that those sessions that we have when they come in and they ask me like, "Oh, sir, how did you deal with this? Or how was this like in the fleet?" And then I tell them a story, and then I hope that's life changing or life impacting. I don't know. There's no way for me to tell.
I'm going to lead into a confidence boost for you.
Okay.
Do you feel uncomfortable when they come to you with these things?
No, I feel happy about it because it's like,
good.
Oh, okay,
good.
Oh.
No, I was going to say, if you did feel uncomfortable, you should be complimented that you give off this presence that these people can come to you.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks, Mom.
You're welcome.
Yeah. No, it's it does feel nice to be wanted in that sense, even if it's just like, "Hey, sir, I'm feeling a little weird about being going surface," or what can you tell me about the surface community that's cool, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
And I don't sugarcoat.
Yeah.
I definitely don't.
I think it's really nice to see and hear that somebody chose you, that you obviously give off some type of presence, and essence that these people can come to you.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty good. Good job.
You need that kind of presence in a workplace or in this kind of environment.
Yeah. Which is, especially now in these days, I hear the term a lot, open door policy.
Oh, yeah.
Being thrown around, which I didn't hear until I was within property management. And I'd already been working ages 16 to, when did I join property management? Maybe 29. Yeah. So I'd never heard.
Wait, you've only been in property management at 29? I thought it was earlier than that.
I think I was in property management from 28, 29-ish.
Oh, dang. Okay.
To maybe 30. Yeah.
Yeah, it's only been a few
only
years.
2 years.
Yeah, got it. Oh, because it was hospitality.
Yeah, but I mean, so at 16, waiting tables and all that jazz. And then you have the big gap for hotels and then property management. In that whole span, never heard the term open door policy. How crazy is that? I think it's absolutely wonderful where you can just talk. Right.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely nice, especially when it comes to trying to maybe air out grievances or at least look for a way to solve a problem together or address a concern.
Yeah.
Right. But definitely not something that's available in everywhere you go.
No, absolutely not.
Which kind of sucks.
And I think that I think it's good. I think we talked about that a couple of episodes where we have a new generation coming into the workforce and all this stuff. So
we're looking for that.
Yeah.
Who want that either like the open line of communication or at least a way to collectively solve a problem, to properly solve a problem instead of just, nodding and this is just how it is.
Oh, yeah. It's great. So in case you guys haven't caught on, today's episode, we're going to discuss obviously we're going to try and be adults in this conversation, which I'm sure will go very well.
That's just you, actually. There's only one adult in this room.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And we're going to talk about the workplace. Everything from like job hunting to interviewing to you landed the job and now you're in this new environment and how are you supposed to act? Mm-hmm. So I think that's I hope it should be helpful.
I don't know. Yeah, we're gonna act like we know what we're doing.
I don't know. Yeah, I guess we should, give you a disclaimer. We don't really know what we're doing.
Yeah, honestly, apparently that's all adulting is. There's no manual to this. There's, you wake up one day with back pain and bills and like, my God, what am I doing with my life?
Exactly.
Yeah. So, well, one step at a time, we'll get it figured out. Yeah.
So on the open door policy part, I'm curious, is that something that you had to straight out say to your students? Like, just so you know, my door's always open. I have this open door policy.
I'd like to think so. On my syllabus, right, I bolded and highlighted every time I use the word communicate.
Okay.
Because I want to stress that this is the best way we're going to solve problems. If there are any issues on your end or if there are issues on my end, we need to talk. We need to actually exchange words. If not, just emails. Emails are fine, as long as I'm kept abreast of your situation. And, for some students, for example, right, who are towards the end of the semester and they've missed a billion assignments and they've never told me up to this point that, hey, sir, I'm struggling, all these things happen, I'm juggling all these responsibilities, blah, 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 there's no way for me to meet the deadlines you've set, could I have an extension, blah, blah, blah. If they did that ahead of time, sure, of course, yeah, I'm willing to work with you. I don't grade the papers immediately as soon as they get submitted. I put them on a priority list of my own, and then I'll get to it when I get to it, right? Mm-hmm. So the deadline is just a nice, convenient way for me to start sorting my workload, But then if they say that I can't get it to you then, can I get a 1 day or a 2 day? Then, okay, yeah, sure, because I can afford to give it to you. I'm not going to touch your paper right away anyway, So there's that. But if at the end of the semester they're struggling and they have all these missed assignments and they never reached out, yeah, dude, sorry, you never told me about that struggle, and I cannot accommodate you anymore.
Yeah.
I wish you had. That's why I stress communicate. I stress the open door. I stress, I gave all my students my socials towards the end of the semester, on the finals day, while they're taking their exams, right? Mm-hmm. Hey, my official work email is not going to last forever, but if you want to reach out, if you want to talk about the fleet, talk about life, anything like that, feel free to reach out.
Nice.
Yeah. So, yes, open door is clutch, man.
Yeah, I think that's great. And for me, like I said, I hadn't heard that term till only a couple years ago. And my supervisor at the time was very direct. I have an open door policy. Feel free. You can talk to me anytime. And I think that the generation coming in needs to know that, needs to be upfront and told that, because a lot of them just won't say anything. And so I was explaining this to Marcus, and he brought up a good point. He was like, don't you think you're babying them? And I thought, you know what? If that's the term that our generation, mine and John's, if that's the term we use, then yeah, we are babying them. But
I think that's a very boomer approach, though.
It is.
Not just boomer like an old person, but literally like the baby boomer generation.
Yeah.
Right, who are coming up after the war, who were raised on the values of just shut up and put your head down and go to work and grind.
Yeah.
Right.
And I think that, I think that that's not the case with this generation coming. I think you have to be straightforward with them. Otherwise, productivity is affected, and their work ethic is affected, and then their mental state is affected. And then next thing you know, you're down a person.
Right.
And that's coming from an operational standpoint. But, Yeah, I think that I think every person just needs to be straight up, because I don't think a lot of places will say, I have an open door policy.
Mm-hmm.
I think they'll just beat around the bush, maybe sugarcoat it, and then it still is a question of whether or not I should come into your office and talk to you.
Yeah. It's funny because, oh man, in the military, right, there are many commanders who also offer a similar open door policy.
Yeah.
And
we should have done your disclaimer thing.
Oh yeah, crap.
Forgot to type that out.
Sorry. Yeah.
Say it like a prescription.
Here we go. Wait. Well, how does the disclaimer commonly go?
They say it really fast and in a deep voice.
Well, I only have one of those, so the opinions expressed in the total. No, the opinions expressed, the opinions I express, right, do not reflect that of the United States Navy or the Department of Defense. These are purely my own.
Blah, blah, blah. Any side effects experienced.
Any side effects, yes,
you should see your primary care doctor.
Oh, no, side effects might include, like, gonorrhea, herpes, and...
That's what I'll do. I will type it up, and I'm going to put it right here, so anytime you're about to give an opinion, I'll say that, and you can... Yeah,
you wrote a freaking mission statement, and you hand-wrote the mission statement on the thing. Like, yeah, well... Yeah, that'd be helpful, yes.
Okay.
You got to include the Department of the Navy and the Department of Defense, yes.
And all the side effects of gonorrhea and whatnot. Go
Yes,
on.
Exactly. Okay, so anyway, so what I'm getting at is, like, there are some who do claim that they have an open door policy, but in practice, it's,
never been enforced.
Yeah, or at least when someone tries to, that sailor usually gets their pee-pee slapped, right? And they're the example. The first one through the door gets beat the hardest, right? And so, hey, wow, that's definitely not encouraging. Not an encouraging sign at all.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
I can't imagine. That's just like, hey, I've cracked the door a little bit. Right. I'm here. I'm in my office working. Mm-hmm. It's cracked. You can come in, but you should still question yourself coming in.
Yeah, that's the funny thing, because I'm not entirely sure what it translates like in the civilian world, where you have your, a person who's, like, let's say 2 or 3 direct reports above you, 2 or 3 levels above you, right? And we're talking about, like, let's say the most junior sailor in the Navy, comparing them to the captain of a warship. To go all the way up to the captain is essentially, like, in the military culture, that is not a thumbs up, a middle finger to
everybody in between.
Everybody in between, yeah. Like, why didn't you give us an opportunity to help you out?
I think it is the same in the civilian world, because it's like, if you were to go to my corporate regional manager, somebody a higher up. Yeah, it is a huge middle finger, because you've not only, I'll say it this way, not only have you tattled on me, but you didn't even give me a chance to help, or discuss or say anything.
Yeah. But then the other side of the coin is that if that sailor had issues with that chain of command, the people in between, who else would they go to? Who else could they go to? Right? And that's generally the problem. But then if the only recourse that they have in mind, or a civilian counterpart, right? Like I don't know. I'm trying to think of a job. There are a billion different civilian jobs.
It makes me think like my front desk staff, and then there's sort of an operations manager, then there's assistant general manager, and then general manager. Yeah. And then there are the higher ups.
There you go. Right. So if that front desk person had an issue with everybody in between, and they thought their only recourse is to go see the GM or regional manager, I guess.
Yeah, the higher.
Right. Corporate even, Lord.
Yeah.
Right. Then there's also this barrier, this intimidation barrier. Like, hey, oh my God, I'm talking to an 05, a captain of a warship. Right, there's a certain, like, kind of artificial barrier that a lot of sailors, or just military personnel in general, right, place in between themselves and higher ranking officials, because that's the tradition. That is how it's always been. Officers are usually out of reach, especially the higher ranking ones. You don't touch them. You don't talk to them. You don't address them without being addressed first.
Similarly, it's just the higher ups are probably thinking, okay, you came to talk to me. Why am I actually having this conversation with you?
That's also the big problem.
I get paid a lot of money. I get paid a lot to encompass all of these bullet point responsibilities. But that's what the peasants beneath me are getting paid for.
Oh,
Yeah, I mean, that's the truth, you know?
Yeah.
So a person who's already hesitant about going to somebody chooses to go to that higher ranking and higher up person.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, then, you know, the open door policy is not as open anymore.
Exactly.
Because just naturally, you know, the higher up is thinking, why are you talking to me about this?
Right. Yeah.
And you might, from there, you should have just closed your door.
Mm-hmm.
And not welcome that person in.
Right. And it's a tough line to balance because, like, most of the time, maybe not most of the time, but a good amount of the time, right? The person who is aggrieved does have a legitimate reason to want to have this kind of conversation.
Yeah.
But there are just so many institutional barriers, or there's so many cultural barriers, or artificial barriers that are in place to prevent them from seeking that kind of communication. So even though there's an open door policy, and I put air quotes on that, right? Oh, wait, hang on. Open door policy. There you go. My fingers were not lining up with the words I was trying to say. So there's my air quotes. God, wow, it was hard.
Okay.
Even though that's in place, it might not be the most effective thing. Even though it's a great sentiment. It's nice, yes. It's not something that everybody's going to pursue.
Right. How do you, what's your preferences on interviewing?
Like for a job?
Yeah. Like what are your, I guess, what are your go-tos when you're the one being interviewed? And
so actually I need to flip this script on you because I've never been interviewed for anything. Okay,
what?
That's a lie. I have. But like, not like for big jobs. Like when you join the military, all you do is like, you go to the recruiting office like, hey man, sign me up. Here's my signature. Here's my social.
Okay.
Put me on a boat or on a bus to go to boot camp. Thanks. Bye.
So you didn't have to interview for the position you're in now?
So that's, I did have to interview for the officer candidate program or the commissioning program I went through.
Okay.
That was multiple rounds of interviews actually. And okay, so I guess I can speak to that, but those aren't like...
Interesting. I honestly thought that, I mean, again, I'm just very basic knowledge of the military. I would have thought that there would have been a lot of interviewing as you go up. So I understand, like you walk into, walk into the recruiting center, you give your information, you're like, I'm ready to go.
Yeah, there's no interview there. Okay, so I'm trying to just like put the military experience in parallel with the civilian experience. So let me start with you first, because I can definitely go into more detail about like boards. We don't call them interviews; we call them boards.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, when I'm interviewing, the older I've gotten.
Yes, you're so aged.
I'm so aged.
Aged.
Let's see. I interviewed for my job at the steakhouse at a restaurant, and I was 16 years old. I don't count that as an interview because you're just...
Why not? It counts. Totally
I'm a
counts.
body. I'm a body with a beating heart. I'm there to do the job.
Wow. Welcome to the military.
Yeah. Then I interviewed with the hotel, and God, so long ago. Obviously a much more thorough interview. I actually interviewed twice because I stepped away after 5 years to work at a different hotel and came back and interviewed for a different position.
Oh, geez.
And that interview, I do appreciate the questions that they had asked me, but I was also interviewing with people I had already been working with for 5 years.
It's kind of funny. So it was
like a catch up.
It wasn't more like just a formality at that point, or
it was probably a formality.
Yeah.
They did ask my experiences. I was interviewing for a sales position.
Oh.
And I had just graduated. So it was like a catch up, and then we were just like, what's your experience with sales? And I think that was like the only question that they had ever asked me.
Yeah.
This isn't turning out well to flip it on me, but the next interview was with property management, and I don't even think that was an interview because that was a referral. My friend that referred me at the time, I had already been working with her in the hotel industry for a while. So our supervisor already knew what I was coming in with. So I didn't feel like that was an interview. But my interview now with Marymount, I sat with 3 of the administrators, and they asked, your general questions. Could you tell us about a time where you implemented a project or a policy and it has supported and has been very successful for the company or for the work environment?
Oh, wow. That's a big question. Yeah.
With higher education. One of the questions was, what's your definition of diversity? With our particular work environment, one question was, what's your go-to superpower?
Oh, dang. Okay. Mind control.
Okay. Please say that in an interview and then just don't say anything afterwards.
That's a power move.
And
that
also creepy.
Nope. That lands the job. That's something that lands the job. 100%.
My answer was, I think I had just got done watching Black Widow.
Oh, okay. Wow. What? An ability to aim a gun and shoot.
No.
Oh.
I said, I think my superpower is the ability to understand humans. And
oh my God, that's not a superpower. That is not a superpower at all.
Shut up. And I said, similar to Black Widow in Avengers,
not
she knew everybody. She cared for everybody.
She's a
she took
spy.
Care of them.
She has dossiers on everybody.
I know.
That's literally just doing the homework. So she got to know
everybody based off of a dossier.
No, that's literally just doing the homework. That's being a good not a good div,
whatever,
a good spy.
Bro, it got me the job.
Wow.
But I said my superpower was getting to know people on
you could have been
personal
like
and professional
Scarlet
basis.
Witcher or Captain Marvel or
and say what?
Like I can bend reality
control.
to my will. Yes. I can fly through space without a suit or the air stuff.
If I could do that, don't you think I would have just put that on my resume?
Well, no, you have to look well, okay, yeah, I guess. But no.
I said it was my ability to really understand people and, if I'm going to be a supportive person in this group, then that's what's important. If you like your calendar a certain way, I need to know that. What was another? Yeah, but I think that was the best question. That my interview with Marymount was probably an actual real life interview.
Okay. How did you prepare for it? I think that's the more fundamental question of how to adult. How do you prepare for an interview?
Oh, so I read the job post a few times just to make sure I didn't read anything.
Yeah.
Then you do some just regular market research. For my particular position, I did more research on the department, which is athletics, because I know nothing about athletics.
Rip.
But I did a lot of research, familiarized myself with what teams we had, tried to gather information on the administrative part of it, but couldn't really find very much. So I relied on the job posting.
Okay. That's not too bad.
And then there wasn't really much in the market to give me any other information. So in a way, I think I felt limited, but they liked me because of my superpower.
My friend Shelly was in town over the, let's see, like a few days, a couple weeks ago, because she was job hunting, right? And she, in preparation for all the job fairs she was going to, she had quote unquote unique, right, cover letters for each of the companies that she was going to.
Okay.
And the core is still roughly the same. Like, hey, I'm this. Here's my work experience thus far. Here's all the relevant skills I have. But then after those first couple introductory paragraphs, she goes into detail about what's unique about that company. Just like how you said you read up on Marymount, right? Mm-hmm. And because you're able to, you've read up, and because she's done the whole research on her end too, she was able to custom tailor each cover letter to reflect like what that company is looking for, how her skills and how her own values align with theirs.
I like that.
And so on. Yeah. So yeah, there's the common core, of, this is what I can bring to the table, but here's also what's unique about you, this relationship that you and I are going to form.
Yeah. Right.
So I think prepping like that for an interview, at least understanding what you're getting into, not just because, hey, I want some money. Right, yeah. I want to get paid. It's got to be more than that.
I think that most people, I hope that most places read the cover letter. Mm-hmm. I did a similar approach. However, my cover letter, so I didn't change my cover letter. I adjusted it so that way I would change who I'm writing to and the position that was posted.
There you go. Okay.
But that's because I knew the realm I was applying to. So what I did was I advertised my time spent in hospitality and my skills in operations, and then my knowledge in education. And I felt that, okay, I needed to advertise that and target these jobs. But I like what she did. So did she like target? She tailored her cover letter to specific jobs, which these jobs were different.
Yeah, to specific companies, right?
Okay.
Yeah, because she wanted to be a financial analyst.
Okay.
Essentially, right? And so Yeah, I mean the language reflects the core values or the mission statements of all these companies and how she best aligns with all that.
Yeah.
So definitely using that corporate language, that corporate speak.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
I hope places these days actually read cover letters.
I hope so too. Yeah.
Because that's your opportunity. That's your hi, this is me.
Right. Yeah. And of course the resume will do an awful lot of heavy lifting on its own too, but the cover letter gives a little more than just, 5 years at this, 4 years at that, certified this, certified that.
How do you feel when you're interviewing?
Aha, here we go.
Like how what's your level of stress? Do you feel you need to be overly professional and articulate to the T? Do you what's your kind of go-to personality?
So
not that you have a different one.
Yeah,
but.
for the majority, let's not say majority. For a good amount of our listeners, they are civilians, and so the chunk of the ones who are in the military are largely my friends, right, or the ones who are associated with me. So they understand what boards are, and they understand what promotion boards are. And so even though they share the same word, they're two different things. Promotion boards are literally just a group of, let's say, 10 senior officers who are looking at your entire professional record and boiling it down to a one-page report that really is just a sequence of numbers. Here are all your performance marks from all these different years of your time in service. And all it shows is a summary group average, which is, like a GPA, for example. It's a military GPA. Let's put it that way. That's a good analogy.
Okay.
There's the average military GPA of everyone in your same rank, and then your GPA, your individual GPA. If your individual GPA is higher than the average, then that means you are actually an excellent sailor.
So this is all statistical.
It is all statistical for promotion boards, right?
Okay.
So, because the Navy has to process so many people all at once, they can't just sit down and look at, this is Terence Viernes. Look at all the things he's done. Look at all the incredible accomplishments. And, look at all the feedback from his sailors and from his commanding officers. Wow. They don't have time to actually process all of those records. So everything boils down to two numbers.
Wow. No wonder when I asked you how you interview, I just don't have that's not an interview.
Yeah, that's not. By the time, now I am in what's called, I am up for promotion and I have to properly compete against my peers, for that GPA, right? Before that, all my promotions so far have been quote unquote automatic, right? It's just a matter of, time and rate and actually, going on X amount of deployments and then hitting the wickets, essentially. But now I have to compete for a position for lieutenant commander. Beyond that, I have to compete for a position to be a commander. And then beyond that, a captain. And then finally, beyond all that, I have to compete to become an admiral.
But you're competing against numbers.
Largely, yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to wrap my head around that. That's just there's
statistically, that's the most efficient way to do it.
So let's say you have the golden number. Okay, so it makes sense in this point. Let's say you have the golden number. Then are you actually given the opportunity to exchange words with somebody?
No. I just, every every year, it's like, hey, Lieutenant Viernes, do you have your package ready? As in, are all your records in order? So, we have to upload all our records, our letters of recommendation, our qualifications, and so on to an online database. And then when it comes time for promotion season, they just print all that out, put it in a folder, and then one person, reviews it, distills it, and puts it into those numbers. Or they take the numbers out of those reports and put it on a sheet that just gets flashed on a screen. 30 seconds later, they're like, yep, hands up, promote.
Wow.
That's literally it. It's a small panel of, 10-ish senior officers who make this call.
Interesting.
Yeah. So that's what a promotion board is, right? That's what a promotion board is. Boards, on the other hand, this is your kind of traditional interview process. And when I was an enlisted sailor, the working sailor, dirty hands and all that, and I was trying to compete for a commission, I had to go through multiple rounds of interviews. And for this, I had to get dressed up, be in my fanciest uniform, the nicest looking one, clean off my medals, polish my shoes, et cetera, get a clean haircut, whatever, right? Look as the epitome of military bearing and military like professionalism, right? And then when it came to the discussions, the questions are directly tailored to why do you want to be an officer? Because there is a clear distinction between officers and enlisted in the military, not just the Navy, right? Probably more so in the Navy. The divide is pretty sharp, but that's just traditionally a consequence of tradition. But actually, let me get you looped into this. You had been working as like, managing staff and all of that, right? Yeah. But let's say you wanted a job in corporate, which is a huge jump, right? A big difference, right?
I just rolled my eyes.
Yeah. But let's assume you wanted it and you really loved it. You loved the idea of it. You are 100% committed to working for corporate and make that jump.
Sure.
You probably will interview for it, right? And so hence in the military, you have to interview for that too. But the question is going to be like, why do you want to join corporate? What's your answer to that?
I think that for me, and I'm answering this, putting myself back in hospitality because now I don't really have a corporate head.
That's right.
So, if I said it that way, why would I want to join corporate? It's because I think that I've already done my time operationally and on the bottom levels, and I want to work my way up, and then. Really, no, I don't want to say cater. Maybe teach is the best word. Teach the new people coming in.
Okay.
Teach them right. Like, here's what I've done. Here's my knowledge that I can share with you. I guess what I want to say is taking a corporate position, there's a little bit more weight to my words. Regional operations manager, Rachel is stepping in. She'll be here for a day visit. She wants to run a meeting with the front desk staff. Like, I would think that my words would carry weight. I hope. That's, I think, and I don't mean to, I guess I'm saying that with also criticizing my corporate, I wish that you had come by more, shown a presence. But
very similar sentiment in the military. Because now let me flip this on you again.
Okay.
You say that you want to be able to lead others and show them how to do things, right? Why couldn't you just do that in the position that you're in right now? Why don't you continue following that career track and become, a senior regional manager or whatever it is? Why couldn't you do it like that? Why do you have to join corporate to be that?
I think, and then, so right off the bat, I think as you join the corporate world, a lot of those responsibilities, a lot of those operational duties also, unfortunately, trickle down to those below you, which I think, I would think leaves room for the opportunity to show presence to other hotels and to teach wisdom and all that stuff. But, I would think that I wanted to do a lot of stuff when I was in a lower position. And I just don't think I had the time. You're kind of doing other things. You're taking on the scut work, the training and the interviewing and all that stuff and not really teaching. I say this because the first management company that owned our hotel, they used to come in on a quarterly basis and do a service madness where they would come in for the week, provide lunch to the staff.
Wow.
And then just go through teaching methods, kill them with kindness. The memory game, which we used with the game telephone. So we would all stand in a line and, let's say you're put in a position where you don't have a pen and paper. So a guest calls you and says, "Hi, can I have 4 washcloths, 3 bars of soap, 2 towels, 4 robes?" And we had to trickle that all the way down just to see, it's like telephone.
Oh, geez.
But they would do all of this stuff. They put you in a role-playing position where you were a housekeeper pretends to be an irate guest. And how do you resolve that?
Yeah. Well, I'd be a very good irate guest.
That's why I would, as a corporate person, I think that when you move higher up, you're in a position to teach. You're in a position to share your knowledge because you're not doing all the other things that a regular manager has to do. And you have the time.
Okay.
And you get paid more money.
So I ask all these questions because these are exactly the parallel questions that are asked in the military. If you are trying to make that enlisted to officer jump, when they ask me like, why do you want to be an officer? Right. Common answers to this for a lot of sailors is I want to be in a more senior leadership position. I want to, I want my opinion to matter more. Right? Because I have the rank. I want to be seen. I want to be heard. And so on, right? And then the natural kickback here from other officers, from senior officers who have been around the block a few times is, you say all these things. Why do you think you can't do that as a chief, as a senior enlisted sailor? Like, the saltiest of the saltiest sailors, right? When anyone sees those anchors on your collar or on your cap, right, they'll understand who you are. They'll respect who you are. They will value your opinion because you've been there. You've seen things. You've seen shit, right? Sugar, whatever. Fuck. Yeah. Okay, that's I got to edit twice now, or beep twice now. Anyway, sorry. Why can't you just be a chief or a master chief, right? And so on. And that's where that's where I kind of got trapped in the beginning. But then my response to it afterwards is, I believe that the skills and the knowledge and the, I don't know, like the things that make me will be much better served in an officer capacity than it would be as a chief or a senior chief or a master chief, right? I have vision. I am eloquent. I am a great project manager. I am great with working with a diverse set of people, and so on. Right, the skills that have been given to me, or the skills that I have cultivated over my short life thus far, are better served in a commissioned officer's capacity than it would as a chief. Right, so that's my roundabout way of answering.
That's the professional interview answer.
It is, yeah, exactly.
Because the truth is,
I want the money.
I want the money, and my title makes a difference.
Yeah, exactly.
Carries a little bit more weight.
Absolutely. So, yeah, but I don't know, if I could go back and talk to, junior enlisted Viernes and be like, dude,
don't do it.
Do you really want this? Yeah, I still do. I still do. I won't change his mind. I won't change anything. I ended up, a divorce and however many bottles of liquor later, right? I still wouldn't change it for anything. I would just be like, you have a more level head as you work through this. Don't go into this all haughty like.
Yeah. That's a good piece of advice. Yeah. But I think, they had asked if I wanted to be manager twice, and I said no. I'm really happy where I'm at. You guys trust me to train the front desk staff. I'm happy being on the same level. And finally I think it is like 70% comes down to needing the money.
Yeah.
And then 30% the title carries weight. Because then finally we were looking to get married, and then I said, okay, I'll take it.
That, yeah.
You need the money.
Right.
Even with, so after I left property management, my friend, who again was in hospitality for 25 plus years, my joke with her, I said, you're going to get promoted here. Don't worry. She's like, I'm not doing it. I'm done. I don't want to be a manager. She did it back in our hotel days.
Right.
Front desk all the way up to a corporate position where she traveled to different hotels and taught. And I joked with her. I said, nah, I think you're going to get promoted. 3 months into my job at Marymount, I call her a catch up. They offered me a promotion. I freaking took it. I knew it.
Yeah.
It
makes sense though. She's great.
Yeah. And I think for me, I don't know if this is advice for people, but if you're happy and content with where you're at, and you're in a good place financially and mentally that you can stay where you're at, look, if you want to be the person that moves up, all for it.
Right.
I think, but you have to ask yourself, can you take this? Can you do it? Because it's about the money and the title, but there still could be another set of responsibilities that come your way. And I just didn't want that anymore.
Right. Yeah. And I think I'm kind of approaching that same place. I'd like to think I'm there already, but there was this point. I don't know exactly when it was. It was within the past couple of years, but I'm coming to terms with the idea that I don't need to become an admiral in the Navy. I don't know if I want to be an admiral. I don't even know if I want to command my own ship anymore. Right. And even between commanding a ship and becoming an admiral, that's a gulf. That's a massive chasm to cross, right? Or to, hill to climb, mountain to climb, whatever term you want to use, right? Even between the distance between an enlisted and an officer, that's also another mountain. But I don't know if I want to keep climbing anymore because, my previous experience on my last ship was not very positive. And if that's going to be the culture that I'm going to keep encountering as I continue to climb, that's not exactly where I'd like to be. And I'm comfortable with being maybe mid-level management. And if I top out of that, that's okay with me. I'll be hitting the time where I have to leave the Navy, and I can go pursue other things. I can go be a dad. I can go be an instructor or a professor somewhere else.
So when I interviewed for Marymount, they did ask me why this job. Mm-hmm. They said, this is an administrative position. You have managerial experience. Why this job? I said, I've done a lot of things in hotels. I've worked a lot of different positions. And the one thing I've learned from everything is I like operations. I like getting things done. I don't like the spotlight. I like getting it done if in support of those who want to be in the spotlight.
Right.
Those who want to run the conference call, those who want to run the Zoom call. Mm-hmm. I will do what I can to support you and stand in the background.
Yeah.
And what I did not share with them is exactly what you said. By doing that, by staying out of the spotlight, now we have time for other things.
Right.
To take care of ourselves.
The breathing room.
Yeah. And I think that people need to recognize that it's, again, I'm not shaming anybody who wants to move up.
No, absolutely. Wants to be
ambitious. Do that because you have time for it. Mm-hmm. I'm just ambitious about other things.
Right.
And I'm very happy with where I'm at. Mm-hmm. So I've got some workplace etiquette that I pulled up as now that we're getting close to the end. And I thought it'd be interesting to run through this because they're actually really, they like the thoughts that pop into my head are really funny.
Okay.
But so the first one is, so these are the don'ts, and it says don't reply all to an email.
Oh my God, yeah. Holy crap. That is, everyone has reply all nightmares. Like, why am I getting why?
I don't like don't reply. That is the truth, people. Don't reply all to the emails that are like, call for volunteers or what is your shirt size? Karen, I don't know. I don't need to know your shirt size. Yeah. You do not have to reply all. Reply directly to that person.
How is it so? It still boggles the mind how people have such a hard time understanding the difference between reply and reply all.
I know. What I experience is mostly now is the reply all when you actually need everybody on that email. Mm-hmm. You know, like I guess people read the content and then determine from there that, hey, very simply, reply all means you're sending it to everybody.
Yeah.
If you don't need to, just go to that direct person. But this one is a good one. It's point 2 and 3, but I'm going to put the 2 together. But don't have personal conversations at your desk and don't bring your emotions into work.
What? No.
Oh, you have some feelings about that.
Oh my God, yes. Are you serious?
Share your feelings, sir.
Wait, okay, so give me the reasons.
It's a don't.
Give me the reasons why we shouldn't do that.
For me, I think because it can be very distracting to getting the job done. And I think that if you're feeling a certain way, you're distracted from your work. You're distracting other people from your work. And what are you doing here?
Okay, that's fair. Again, context. In the Navy, we all live on the same piece of, floating metal, tube, cube, box, boat, whatever you want to term it, right? And bringing emotions into anything is inevitable. I'm not against the idea that you should keep your private and professional and personal life separate. That's important, and it is a clean and clear distinction that makes good, perfect sense.
Yeah.
However, it is impossible to enforce and do it all the time. People will naturally blow up at the desk or at work, or people will naturally bring drama from home into work, even though they don't mean to or intend to, right? And so I'm not against the recommendation. I'm against the absolutism of it all. Like it's gonna happen.
Yeah, I'm with you there. It's gonna happen.
Yeah.
As somebody who managed a staff, am I gonna ask you to try to not make it happen?
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah. Like, manage it better, man. Come on.
This one's a big one for me. Don't be afraid to ask questions. Those of you in operations and my hotel staff, some of them didn't ask questions. And I thought, oh my God, are you getting this?
Yeah.
I'm really worried.
Yep. And it's funny, in the Navy or in the military in general, officers are supposed to be these people who, people look to and like, I need to know something, sir or ma'am have the answers. They'll help me out. But in the first couple years when you're an ensign or a second lieutenant or whatever rank it is, like a low ranking officer, you're not expected to know shit.
Yeah.
Like, you're still learning, you're still figuring it all out. It's by the time you make 03, so in the Navy, a lieutenant, or in all the other branches, a captain, right? Once you get to that point, then you can kind of speak with some authority. You know, it's not until you're maybe like an 05, like a commander or a colonel or a captain or whatever equivalent rank you want to use, right? That people are like, okay, yeah, that man is untouchable. That woman, I do not want to mess with them because they know all the ins, all the outs.
Yeah.
Yeah. But ask questions, man. It's
Please
expected.
ask questions.
It's perfectly fine.
I think everybody will always have that like scared high school moment of like, God, I don't want to ask what 2 + 2 is.
No, there are dumb questions. There are absolutely 100% dumb questions. Yes.
There are dumb questions. You can phrase it with, can I ask you a silly question?
There you go. Yeah, that's fine.
I stopped saying dumb questions because I don't think that there are dumb questions. Are there silly questions and you ask me what 2 + 2 means?
No, I think there are absolutely like stupid ass questions. Yes. Sorry, we're going to disagree on this one. Like,
I'm sure you get asked a lot of questions.
I get okay. So I don't want to dig through all my video archives of all my lectures, but there are times where students ask me a question and I'm just like dumbfounded, and I got the deer in the headlights look.
Oh no!
Like, did you really just ask me that? Like,
be careful of that though.
I know. I felt bad as soon as it happened.
Because that can really shut somebody. Open door policy.
No.
Yeah.
Don't
let that. So next one, I'm not going to go through all the don'ts, but this one's pretty good. Don't forget that at work social events, you're still at work.
Oh my God. Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my God. Oh.
I'm laughing at you because I know that I'm still at work at a work social.
No, we don't.
I don't think you do.
The Navy does not. Oh boy. No, so in the Navy, this is awesome. We have what's commonly called like hail and bales, right? Or officially they're called hail and farewell events.
Okay.
Wherein you welcome the newest members of the wardroom and then you say goodbye to the ones who are departing soon.
Okay.
Right? Pretty nice. But often these are fueled by alcohol. And yes, they are very colorful events. Right. I've been like one really boring, really lame hail and farewell because it was a dry one, as in like no alcohol. Right. But everything else has been fueled by booze and each one has been colorful. Like I blacked out my own farewell for my last ship. I don't remember my speech. I think I embarrassed the hell out of them, but definitely still work. Yes, my captain is still there judging everyone, but I did have a captain who I deeply respect. I really love this man. Like I would like sail into, the East China Sea with no radar with this man. We had a hail and farewell. He was really sloshed and he was just talking mad shit the entire night.
Oh no.
About his own officers.
Okay.
In his wardroom. He's the captain and he's talking shit about his own people. I'm like, sir, you're kind of drunk, sir. We need to take you home. And he's like, no, I'm good.
Oh, no.
But
you're at a work social, people.
We are all still at work, sir. So, even though we're all drunk, this is still work.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, colorful times.
Couple of do's. Do arrive early.
No.
What's the...
to work.
Yes.
To work. Sorry, I thought you meant to like, to these, sorry.
What in the world?
Okay, also maybe not arrive early. Arrive on time.
Well, I was gonna say if you're on time, you're late. You're on time.
What a cliche. Yeah,
you gotta. I know. You gotta take off your jacket. You gotta settle in. Open up your laptop. You're already 3 minutes late.
That's why work from home is so nice.
I know.
Oh God.
Do network with people outside your cubicle. Think that's nice.
Yeah.
And the rest are. This one's a good one. Do make sure your earbuds are plugged in securely to your computer.
Oh my God, yes.
The last
yes.
The last part of the sentence is, whoever wrote this article says, take it from me, it's only more embarrassing in the workplace. Your coworkers don't want to hear lyrics streaming from your 2 Chainz Pandora station.
Wow, that's actually that must be a pretty dated.
I know.
Dated article, yeah. Who uses Pandora anymore?
I know. So otherwise the last one was like, do be open-minded. But I found another one that I thought would be interesting. It's from Business Insider, 17 business etiquette rules every professional needs to know. And I was explaining to John beforehand that some of these rules do differ between a business setting and a social setting, but still slightly blend together. First one is always stand when you're being introduced to someone.
That's nice, yeah.
Always say your full name.
Yes.
Always initiate the handshake if you're the higher ranking person or host.
Oh.
See, I think that is very specific because I don't care who I am. I'm going to initiate the handshake. Not that I'm racing the person to the middle ground, but
right.
You know what I mean?
I'm trying to think. I think that holds true in the Navy. Yeah, all the ones who have been higher rank are the ones who reach out first. Yeah.
Yeah.
I definitely, being the junior officer, I have to defer to whomever is senior to me. Yeah. Oh, that makes sense. Okay.
Let's see. Send separate thank you notes to everyone involved. Let's be honest. I know you're not going to read my thank you note.
Nope.
I know you're going to read it and then throw it away. I think it's safe that you could just send a quick thank you email.
Yeah. Actually, yeah. That's what everybody does
the
now.
note is very personal. It's very nice because you took the time to do it, but...
No, thank you email sent to everybody all at once. 5 seconds, done.
So the person who wrote these rules says never pull out someone's chair for them.
Or just never pull out in general.
I'm going to move on to the next. Oh, man. Oh, okay. Now it's bleeding into the social setting. So it's keep your fingers together when you point. I always gesture with an open hand.
So like 2 fingers or 3 fingers or a thumb pointing?
Or Filipino style with your lips.
Oh, yeah. They can't see that. But yes, I was pointing with my lips. Okay.
I always gesture with my open hand in the direction.
I just do one of these or
pointing with one finger?
Pointing, but I circle the finger. So it's like I'm stirring a sideways glass or a sideways bowl. Yeah.
So business, dinner, work, social, don't order anything too expensive.
Or just get the second most expensive item.
Okay.
Yeah.
Keep the food options balanced with your guests. This means that if your guest orders an appetizer or dessert, you should follow suit. Okay.
Okay, sure.
This is dumb. Never ask for a to-go box. You're there for business, not for leftovers, she writes.
That does come across as a little cheap, yeah.
What if I'm full?
Who cares?
And I want to eat it again later.
No, leave it. That's not your problem.
But then I've wasted food.
You could always communicate. Like, say you're going to go use the restroom and then you talk to your waiter afterwards and be like, hey, I'm going to go. We're going to leave, but could you box this up? And then when I say goodbye to my client, I'm going to come back and pick up the box. Boom. Problem solved.
Okay.
Just give them a little extra tip.
Yeah. And that's pretty much all the work social etiquette.
Interesting.
But I hope we did you guys right by all of our workplace advice.
I hope so. That'd be kind of nice. Yeah, that'd be helpful. Let us know in the comments and description. Oh wait, hang on, not description. Let us know in the comments.
I hope we made a difference.
Every time we have these kinds of episodes where we're trying to prescribe
say that sentence, we laugh.
Yeah, because we know we haven't. Or if anything, we just made things worse.
I hope we made a difference, whether it be good or bad. So,
there you go. Yeah.
Thanks for listening, guys. We will catch you next time. We definitely made it worse. They liked me because of my superpower.
I don't know, man. That's such a lame superpower. For them to hire you based on that,
Thanks.
makes me second guess my decision to want to work for Marymount someday.
Okay.
Just kidding. If Marymount's listening, please, in 10 years' time, I would like to be.
Don't let this be.
Please don't.
I can still do mind control.
Yeah. Like, that question is irrelevant, Marymount. I'm going to make you give me the job anyway. No. Oh, my God. Okay. No, anyway.
Terrible person.
Yeah, I'm horrible. Please hire me.
Please hire me.